What's up, everybody? This is Jay, and this is my review for the HBO hit show Winning Time, The Rise of the LA Lakers Dynasty, Season 2, Episode 1. Now, this season picks up where it left off pretty much from last year, where it's continuing to show the progression of Magic Johnson and the teammates of the early Lakers, as well as the ownership and Dr. Buss. Now, this first episode kicks off just as good as the last season. Now, it starts off at the '84 NBA Finals, Game 1, and we see that the Lakers have just won big game on the Boston Garden home court. And of course, Dr. Buss is all smiles because he's loving the competition and he loves kicking Boston's ass. And so he has to make a quick getaway out of the stadium, as well as the rest of the team, because the Boston Garden fans are not having it. It's like they almost want to kill him. And it's to the point where they had to leave the court and run straight out the building. Even the security guard like, these damn white folks is crazy. And so you see everybody chasing the Lakers and even some of the ownership and management off the court, out the building, all the way to the team bus. They didn't even get to shower or change clothes. And then you see Pat Riley coming saying, hey, we only got one, we need 3 more, and we gonna get it. Because we may have got one and they may have got one, but it don't mean nothing till we get theirs. We don't want one, we want theirs. And they all fired up, let's get it. Meanwhile, the fans at the Boston Garden is crazy, throwing stuff at the bus. It seemed like they was gonna flip the bus over. I mean, they said some of the Boston fans may have had some racism. They actually showed the bus was the white bus, actual name. Who knows what it may have meant, but that was the point. Then they backtracked 4 years earlier, back to where we left off, summer of 1980. This is continuing after where we left off of season 1. We see them rolling good in the Rolls Royce, Magic on all the commercials, Converse, feeling 7-Up. He's got all the posters as Magic Man. I'm the Magic Man. France and the Magic Man. I got the big check. That's $150,000. I'm the Magic Man. I got white women. Hey, I'm living large. The money and the women. Hey, I'm Magic. But next thing you know, we see that he got a problem, and Steve Harris, who does an excellent job as his front man, is with this nice lawyer, and they're telling him about a woman that he's gotten pregnant, and that how he's going to have to deal with it. He can pretty much pay her off, and you don't have to be bothered with the baby. He like, man, that's cold. I mean, I don't have to be bothered with the baby. I mean, ain't that something messed up? They say, hey, look, this is best for you. Even the lawyer say, hey, the baby will be well taken care of, and you don't have to see it. He said, but I got a baby out in the world. How I'm supposed to do that? And he said, hey, look, right here, don't you want to focus on you right now soon? I think this is what's best for you. Meanwhile, we see Dr. Buss. He's up there whining and dying and happy. And then Red Auerbach comes in where the restaurant. So he like, hey, what's up, man? And Auerbach like, hey, don't smile. I just got some beast in the draft, a sleeper, Mikhail. I just made a trade for a center parish. We coming to eat your lunch. It ain't over. And so he's like, is that what it feels like to lose? I don't know, because I only know about winning. I'm one and done. And he like, smile now, huh? Tell him, Jerry, what happens to champs? And he's looking and he's like, yeah, Jerry knows. They say, yeah, they don't know, but they get soft, and we're coming. They get rested in what they won, and it ain't over. And they laugh. They say, yeah, well, we'll see. He's like, yeah, we will see. You just don't know, huh? You'll see. I built this dynasty, and you just don't know. But you'll learn, and so I'll show you. And so Dr. Buss tried to play it cool. This guy that's playing Red Auerbach did an amazing job. Meanwhile, we see the coach of the Lakers, Westfall, who's played by Jason Segel, does an amazing job talking to Adrian Brody, aka Pat Riley, and he's saying, look, man, we got to change up our attitude. It's all about hubris. That was the downfall of Othello. We got to make sure that I got my hair slicked back. We got to play the part. The downfall is personalities. That's why people don't win. It's the personalities. They fall apart. And then we see at the hotel where they having the welcome back champs, Magic talking about he want to change up the offense as well as, white girls. White girls everywhere. But hey, I like it that. But we could change up the offense, bro, because, the ball moving better. Like Game 6 without Kareem, we could do this. Meanwhile, he's explaining that that's always the downfall, is that the champs get full of themselves. Even the coaches, was it prodigy or dumb luck? You just come in and win a championship. Was that luck or are you just some genius? And so he's saying, look, man, it's all in the mind. We got to let this stuff get to us. And Pat Riley is saying, don't let it get to you. He said, no, it's the opposite. We got to lean into this. He's basically creating bulletin board material. Meanwhile, we see Magic coming in and he's still telling the fellas, hey, look, man, I'm going to tell Kareem, hey, look, man, we going to try to make the ball run better, offense change. What y'all think? They like, hey, you tell them. And they walk away. Here come Kareem. Hey, fellas, how you doing? Hey, Cap, how you doing, Cap? Hey, man. Hey, let me talk to you, Cap, for a second. Hey, how you doing, man? Okay, well, look, man, me and the fellas were talking, and I was thinking, and then here come this white lady, pregnant, Kareem. And he like, can I get the keys? How you doing? I didn't, Cap, I didn't know. I didn't know she was pregnant. Okay. Yeah, we're blessed. Oh, yeah, you are blessed there, though, Cap. Okay, well, thank you. And he said, all right, well, Hey, don't worry, Cap. I'll talk to you later. Meanwhile, we see Dr. Bus, and he's breaking it down. You know how Red Auerbach created that dynasty? He was shrewd. He made sure that he made these trades and did what was needed before the rules changed. And you know what? That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make sure that I get all my best players sold up before they make the changes. And so he's breaking down about how much they got paying Michael Cooper and $35,000. He said, well, put a zero on it. We're going to pay him $350,000. Everybody like, what? What are you talking about? He said, hey, look, we're going to lock them up and all our best players before they change to free agency next year. It's going to look crazy now, but what we're buying is loyalty. They'll bleed for us. And then she's breaking down the other things that they can do as far as how they can make money in the building and different teams and different ways to balance the budget so it sounds good. Meanwhile, back at the crib, Dr. Bus got his little mansion, rich and fair. Meanwhile, he's explaining to Jeannie about how he loved his mama and how grandma was a lot of things, but the one thing she wasn't able to do was provide a stable home, and that's what he wanted to do. And he's saying, look, I want you to live with me. And she all smiles and happy. Yeah, I want you to be here in this home with me. And your brothers too. And then she, what the hell? Meanwhile, I want to provide this home for you guys. I want you all to live. We're creating a dynasty, and we can only do it, the family, if we all together. So she, of course, wasn't happy about the brothers, but she agreed. Meanwhile, Cookie is with her new man, and then she having visions of Magic in that bed. He got the magic stick. Hey, Cook, who that lame over there? Get rid of him. He sound corny. I'm the magic man with the magic stick. And she said, boy, be quiet. You over there got another girl pregnant. Some people like the drugs. I like ass. What I'm supposed to do? Yeah, well, it's better for me to call them baby than to have a baby. What you say, baby? Oh, he sound real lame, Cook. Nothing, baby. And then he said, yeah, right. Yeah, he sound corny, baby. You come get this magic stick. You want this magic stick, don't you? And she, I'm tired of this. I can't deal with you. And then next thing you know, Magic disappeared like magic. Next thing you know, we see in training camp, day one, they pushing the ball, trying to get things going. They trying to have this fast pace, and Magic and everybody hustling. Kareem tired. He over there sucking down the air off the ground. And they like, come on, Cap, let's go, run, let's go, come on, Cap. And everybody's just trying to play, and Cap, hey man, what you trying to do? slow it down. I wasn't ready. And so having a little beef, a little disgruntlement between him and Kareem. And he like, hey, look, Cap, I wasn't, trying to cause no problems. He threw a fast pass at him and he caught it. I wasn't ready. Why you throw it like that? I wasn't ready yet. Okay, Cap, I didn't know. And so next thing you know, coach calls practice. And so Cap go to sit down. He like, oh, man, come on, coach. What's up? Why we got to call practice now? What's the problem? And so we see that he said, let's play. And coach and them, Pat Riley want to play. Coach want him to still play, but they don't want to disrespect Kareem. He like, hey, we still got to go. We still fresh. Let Cap rest, and we can still go, and he can rest. And Cap say, oh, what, you trying to go without me, huh? No. I'm just trying to look out for you, Cap. That's all. You know what? I'm ready. We can go. You know what? BT. Let's suit up. And then Pat Riley is looking at the fire getting reignited in the belly of Kareem. And he like, come on, I'm about to kick your ass. I'm about to put on the B team, and we about to show you what's up. And so Magic like, oh, okay, all right, Cap, okay. And so then they run it. Magic on the fast break. He got the ball. He moving fast. Next thing you know, Cap put on the afterburners. Boom. He coming right there behind with the back block from behind like LeBron on Game 7 in Golden State. And Magic come up. Wow. How you like me now? Put him on his ass. Magic laying down. Whoa, Cap. Whoa. Where'd that come from? What happened, Cap? And everybody looking at Magic just got his boards rejected, chairman of the boards, and Kareem looked at him like, yeah, I'm the boss right there, you young blood. And so Magic just sitting there in shock. They run back to the next end. Magic still getting up, looking at what's happening. And next thing you know, he back in the game. Now it's a game. They going back and forth, and everybody hustling hard, trying to make plays. And the next thing you see, everybody on the, grabbing a loose ball and fighting and grinding, and it turned out to be a real productive practice. They like really going at it like champs. And next thing you know, a loose ball, Cap going forward, and another player, and somehow or another, he gets scratched in the eye. Now, Cap would later wear goggles, and this could be one of the starts to why, of course, he may have needed glasses as well. But this scratched cornea in practice, everybody was looking and worried about what happened. And of course, he's the star of the league, especially their team, and his eye looked pretty bad. So now they're looking at everything like, man, was it really worth it? But of course, not too many people said anything other than, damn, sorry, Cap, or whatever. He walked away. Didn't want anybody to look at it. And the way that they have him portrayed in this show is pretty isolated as a character. Now, we later see back at the bus mansion that on the Monopoly table that him and his mom and everybody loves so much, they talking about how they're going to come up with money to pay these players. He's telling Jerry West the plan, and Jerry West is about to go ballistic, talking about paying Michael Cooper $350. He like, what? And then he's saying, yeah, and we're going to pay all the rest of the people. And he's saying, well, how are we going to do that? And then, Jim Buss and his brothers is agreeing with him. And he's saying, well, hell, I'll suit up. My whole career, I only made $800,000. Hell, Bill, why don't you suit up? Hell, I could do this and that. I could get at least another $150,000. And he just going ballistic and throwing this and Buss just laughed it off. Meanwhile, we see later that he's trying to figure out ways to come up with the money. So he asks his ex-wife, because she, last season, as we learned, is now technically the owner of the team. And she tells him, no, I'm not giving you any money. You leave the damn kids alone. You suck them in. You don't know nothing about it. You know about his music. Yeah, it's a rock group. It's country. You know about Genie? Yeah, tennis. Okay, well, he said cut him loose. So meanwhile, we see that the Lakers ain't doing too good. The announcers are saying, hey, they said it was a sellout, but it looked like it was 8,000 people dressed the seats. Meanwhile, Magic watching it, they say, I hope he concentrating on rehab. Hey, I am. I'm rehabbing that ass. Yeah, the lawyer So we see Magic screwing that fine lawyer, and she's saying, hey, look, what you doing is right. You need to go ahead and settle this and move on. But that cold-blooded. I got the baby out there with my blood in it. Yeah, well, do you want to be a father? Well, technically not right now, I guess. And she said, well, then this is best for you. And I know you don't want to put that thing away. That'd be a loss. It would, wouldn't it? It is the magic stick. Meanwhile, we see Kareem at his house chilling. Baby, I got baby about to pop, Kareem. And she said, Magic call. I don't want to talk to him. He's an unselfish child. And she said, yeah, well. He said, hey, look. I earned my respect with my body and my game. And he wants to come and just do one game and take it away. Meanwhile, she getting ready to pop that baby. Dr. Bus is sitting there chilling. He mad. He can't come up with the money. His accountant telling him, hey, we can't do it. He say, man, screw my ex-wife. I ain't gonna let her stop me. You know what I'm gonna do? Then he busts out the room. Everybody, come on, meeting time. And he's walking swag, got his little taco meat hanging, drink in his hand at work. Hey, look, this is what we're gonna do. We're going to come up with 3 new things. Jeannie, you like tennis? We're going to go into the tennis league. Jim, you like the horses? We're going to get you the horses. And you're going to get your rock group. Let's get it going. And that's 3 leagues, $3 million. I'll get the loan off my mansion. That's $1 million. That'll pay for the leagues. With the 3 leagues, I can now get a loan for each one, $1 million. That's $3 million. That'll help pay for the finances. There you go. You guys have your toys, your leagues. Everybody's happy, and we'll be able to pay for the players. We'll figure it out later. Hey, that's the way we go. The American dream, baby. And he walking out, and he talking to Claire. She said, you know what? This time, you're doing something that's good, but I'm not just your boss because I'm the head of California Gaming, and you need my approval now. And he said, well, what is it? She said, you know what? I like what you're doing. You got it. And he's smiling. Hey, taco meat wins every time, baby. Meanwhile, we see that the Lakers got a game. People is ready. And we see that the teammates is coming in. Magic. Hey, y'all heard from Cap? Hey, look, man, we might have one more night to do this. Cap just gonna have to do what he do because we been winning. We gonna have to see how the offense go. We might have to do my thing a little longer. Next thing, Cap walks in. Everybody get quiet. Fellas, it's a boy. And everybody gets all happy. Oh, okay, yeah, Cap, yeah. His name is Amir. It means right to rule. They making jokes, looking at the pictures, everybody happy for him. Yeah. And then they looking at Magic all standoffish in the corner. He like, yeah, man, of course he do. Yeah, you know, with a name like that, yeah, with you to be in the big chief and all. Oh, really? I thought that it may have been something different. Maybe you seeing yourself in that position and all. No, man, no. But me and the fellas, we had thought that the offense should stay the same, man. You know what? I agree. So then he walks in the room and he say, have you ever seen a child being born? No. Well, all the things that I've done, I've never done and seen anything like that. And it only required me to be present. And all of my other children know number 33 better than they know their father. And that kind of hit Magic kind of hard, especially with what he's going through with the baby on the way with a woman that he doesn't necessarily want to be with. And so Kareem kind of just hit him with that suddenly at the right time. Meanwhile, this is the worst ring ceremony ever. They're in the locker room and he's pulling out the rings and giving it to them. Fellas, this is what it's all about. And they all got their ring ceremony in private in the locker room. No celebration, no fanfare, anything, but that's how the NBA was back in the day. He read some poetry and they sat there and listened because he had the college background and college coaching background, and he kind of did get into this position overnight, suddenly. But they all go out there, they geek, ready to go. Magic time, baby. And so Dr. Bus is all smiles watching. They showing a little quick montage. They don't actually show a game, but it's Magic Johnson out there on the court, dribbling, doing moves by himself, layups, different passes behind the back. Showtime, it's magic time, baby. It's the Magic Man. And he doing little spin moves. Next thing you know, crack, crack. And we see they zoom in on the knee, which buckles, he's in pain, and then it zooms back into an actual game, and we see that Magic has a knee injury, and everybody's worried, and he's out the game, and it seems that it may be something serious, and it doesn't really go into the details of the game because, as you know, this show isn't actually about basketball games. And then it cuts to him in the room with the coaches and everybody, trainer, telling him that his injury to his knee and that he may be out 8 weeks, and everybody's worried. And then they say after that, what's happening? And everybody's all groaning, and he said, hey, look, man, the Magic Man be all right, man. Hey, 8 weeks, I be okay. I be back on the court. Hey, Magic Man is ready. Don't worry. So they go in the other room and they talking, and he worried inside by himself. I mean, back then, they didn't have the surgery techniques that they do today, and knee injuries for basketball players was pretty much the end of a career. Meanwhile, Jerry West is there devastated, worried. We see that the fans are not showing up, and on the broadcast, they saying, I hope Magic is rehabbing that knee. I'm rehabbing that knee with my PP. And we see him tagging that ass on some white girl. She riding it, magic stick. And then she's like, and he like, what wrong, baby? And she said, this is cutting me. And it was the cast on his knee that's going all the way up to his thigh. And he like, well, baby, we'll try something else. Why don't you finish it off? Don't leave. Finish it. And she coming about to give him some slob on Bob, but instead kisses the cast. And he like, well, what is that? I'll get you next time when it's off. But baby, the magic stick is still fully loaded. I need you to empty the magic stick. I need to let this potpourri out, baby, please. And so next thing you know, the little lips is talking. Hey man, shut your ass up. What you think this is? You need to be worried about this right here, the me. Forget that ass. And he said, man, what are you talking about? What is this? Hey man, don't you know? Once you get that me, it's all history. Don't you know about all the players before you? You ever heard of Toby Knight? He was the second overall pick. First game, ripped up his knee, and now he bouncing around like a bad check. You ever heard of Bob Lanier, Doug Collins, Dave DeBuscher? Hey, you better shut your ass up and listen to me, your ripped up knee. Your ass is in trouble, brother. Yeah, if you don't get it together, your ass is gonna be back at home pumping gas. That's right, your ripped up knee knows what I'm talking about, because I know what the hell is going on. Get it together, or your ass is grass, partner. Ripped up knee, Audi 5000. Meanwhile, we see that the coaches is worried, and he comes in. Hey, look, we have a new thing, the system. And this is about throwing up as many shots as possible, not about the best shot, but as many shots. And it doesn't matter because we have the system. It's called the system. And they said, man, that ain't sexy, coach. Thank you. Meanwhile, we have mapped out the best places for you to score. You get there as fast as possible and throw it up. So wait a minute, coach. You telling me if I throw up some bricks, it don't matter, you not gonna bench me? I'm saying if you don't throw up the bricks, I'm going to bench you. Now, this is your spots. I want everybody here, run there as fast as you can to your spots, throw up your shots. Hey man, y'all telling us to do that and we gonna look bad. Cap, what you think? You know what? I think you don't believe in us anymore, and you created a system to make sure that you don't have to use me anymore because you don't want to count on me. Cap, that ain't it. That's not it. We not doing that, Cap. I don't believe you. I think that you all are trying to change up everything. And then he gets up and walks away. So they lost the locker room with the system. Meanwhile, Magic is there with his mama, and now the father of the young lady, he got pregnant, and he like, man, that little half-ass boy with that old ripped up knee, he trying to pay us with that Laker money. Chances are that lake done dried up. And he over here, a little worthless, deadbeat ninja. I ought to whoop his ass. And then he pretty much mean mugging him, and I thought he was gonna bite him off, looking like a little bulldog. Magic sitting there, and he's sitting over there in the corner, can't even speak up for himself. What kind of man is that? Huh? Where the magic at? The magic is gone. The thrill is gone, baby. I ought to get up. And right when he got up, Magic Pops came and said, hold on now. Calm down now. Hold on now. You don't want to do that, bro. You don't want to do that. And then he looked and thought about it twice, and they like, sir, could you come back here, sir, please? And so he said, look, your daughter would be financially taken care of. What more could you ask for? I want him to be a man and be a daddy. And meanwhile, they pay him and he leaves. So after he leaves, Magic talking with his family, well, that's over. Well, I mean, they right. And he said, what you mean? You on their side? I'm on the side of right, boy. And then the mama say, oh, so maybe he was right. I'm defending you, but maybe you is the problem. You only talking about me. I mean, my knee hurt. I got to try to focus on me right now. I can't be dealing with this. Okay, well, that's what I'm saying. You got your blood out here in the streets. What about us? We supposed to ignore it? Act like it didn't happen? Huh? And so he's looking there and he feeling some kind of way. Meanwhile, Steve Harris come, hey there, young blood. I was talking to the dealership over there at Datsun. And yeah, in case you need a little extra money. He said, but what about Buick? Well, they ain't renewed the contract, and I'm thinking that they want to do a wait-and-see approach to the league. So this will help you in case you need a little money and get a little lead. Meanwhile, we see that the Lakers is playing, and with Magic missing, it looks like the crowd is missing too, and the broadcasters ain't holding back no punches as far as letting it be known. Meanwhile, the house is there, all the kids are there, the Bus family is playing Monopoly just like him and Mama, and next thing you know, he sees that Jim gives away one of the properties, Baltic, to his brother, and he said, what you doing? You gave him Monopoly. He like, yeah, well, I don't want him out the game so early. He like, that's the game. Business is ruthless and cutthroat. You put him out the game. That's what you do. He like, but it's family night. That's my brother. He like, I don't care. And she's like, well, let's Dad. He like, no, we need to hear this. You gave him some crappy properties and you kept him in the game, and you talking about you got a monopoly too. It's worthless. Business is cutthroat. You do not take no prisoners. I don't care if it's your brother. She's trying to change the subject. They need to hear this. I've given you everything and you haven't earned anything. I give you the food. Now you want me to wipe the booty too? You're not a man. I am a man, Dad. Well, I can't tell. Everything I get, you have, I give you. I try to teach you about business. You don't want to listen. And now this is what you do. You're not a man. And so then his brother tried to come to his defense, and he's like, hey, just relax. Hey, he's trying his best, Dad. Hey, well, his best ain't shit. And neither is yours. Neither of you all are worthless. You work for my company. I pay you, and this is what I get. And he say, what? You ditched us for pussy and fun? Oh, so you want to judge me? You think you know me after all I've given you? I given you jobs. You work for my company, live under my roof, and this is what the thanks I get? Here. You can have this too. I've given you everything else like a sucker. And then he throws the Monopoly chips and walks off. Now he's sitting there drunk, looking at his old flames, because back in his day, he took pictures of all of his Playboy bunnies and girls naked that he had good times with. He had a photo album of all the women. And he wasn't hiding it. He wasn't open because Jeannie walks behind him with her little Jordache sweater. It's like, oh, I remember her. He like, oh yeah, her. You remember her? Yeah. Just titties out and everything on some of the pictures. And he's like, yeah, I used to tell girls back in the day, I'm going to buy a team. And they would laugh. They wouldn't believe me. She's like, why not? Who wouldn't believe you? He's like, look at this guy. Who's going to believe this guy? But she believed me. She believed in me. What's wrong with me, Gene Bean? Why'd I talk to your brothers like that? I mean, why'd I yell at them like that? I mean, she's like, yeah, well, maybe they need the swift kick, but you don't need it, Gene. Yeah, I'm made of stuff like you. Meanwhile, we see that Magic's mama came to see Cookie, and she like, Miss Johnson, I understand, but I mean, I want a man that love me. Your husband love and adore you, and I want that. She said, sit down. My husband had another family before we was together. Now, I'm not excusing what he did or my son. My son is acting very childish. But if a man has a good woman by his side, anything is possible. Meanwhile, we see Magic frustrated, sitting around the house. He put the crutches up, and now he gonna try to put some weight on that knee. Toes crunched up, looking like they backing up off of a damn welfare line. Meanwhile, he put his weight down. Oh! And it hurt. He looking at the basketball on the TV, and it's just getting him blood boiling inside, wanting to be back at the game, I'm sure, and play. Cast marked up with 1 million people. He looking at the Sports Illustrated Magic front and center. And so then he gets on the phone and he trying to call Cook, and gets to she ain't wanting to answer, and then she finally picks up after hearing him, and then he like, Cook, I'm sorry, okay, Cook, I like pussy. Do you think before you stick your dick in something? Honestly, Cook, no, I don't. I think it's about to be nice and wet and warm. But that's all I can think about, Cook. I don't mean it. You know I love you, Cook. I got the magic stick. What I'm supposed to do? I'm sorry, Cook. I know I love you, Cook. I'm sorry. I Cook. And meanwhile, we see him driving through the snow, and next thing you know, a baby being born, and here he comes with the family, and they came to be there for the baby being born, which was a very surprise and a shock to the young lady having the baby. He came in with the pimp limp on the crutches, and he said, what's the baby name? And then she tells him the baby's name is Andre. And so he's in there and he's looking, and his family, and they kind of all quiet and in a little solemn moment, and she looking and he looking and everything. And okay, yes, I got a baby named Dr. Dre. Okay, well, let's lay down some tracks then. Hey. Meanwhile, we see back at the forum that the coach is getting ready to get the team ready for the game. He's saying, look, you all were all the best of the best where you come from, but not me. I couldn't make it. So you know what I did? I became the towel boy. That's how much I love this game. And if you love this game and you work hard at it, you can make it to the top. The system will help us. If you work the system, we will be successful. The system, fellas, will get us there. And then he's like, okay, on 3, and everybody all together, and they hyped up or whatever. And so then as they leave, and he talking to Pat Riley, say, so what do you think? Is it going to work? He say, hey, you're going to need a better name. Meanwhile, we hear the chainsaw cutting, and they cutting off Magic Johnson's cast. And he's sitting there getting it cut off because he's ready to get up out of there and get on the good foot. And the family's around, doctor's around, and we see that the game is on. Boy, them TVs was horrible. Meanwhile, the fellas is all partying, having a good time, celebrating, and Magic is missing out. He ain't there. We see Norm Nixon and everybody doing their thing, white women around, and it's just Magic, you know, is dying inside. Meanwhile, we see Steve Harris come to the house and knock on the door, and nobody comes. Then here comes Magic's pops, and so he opened the door. He like, oh, Mr. Johnson, I didn't know that the trash day had a day off today. No, but I do got some trash to take out, brother. We no longer need your services. He like, well, what's the problem? Let me talk to my client. Well, a smart man once told my son that don't deliver bad news yourself. Have somebody else do it. Then he slammed the door. Get off my porch, ninja. And so, and then he closed the door, and as he walk away, he like, yeah, that mother sucker. And then she look and say, I'm gonna let you say it because he was a mother sucker. And they all laugh. Ooh, mama. And he, ooh, you said a bad word, mama. Ooh, you watch your mouth. Meanwhile, the Lakers is playing, and next thing you know, it's against the Celtics. A tough game, back and forth. Larry Bird, Kareem, got the chief down low, and we see that it's real close until Magic Johnson walks in, and they're kind of narrating and saying that, you know, sometimes all it takes is a little spark, a little change for things to go the opposite way. And he walk in under that Michelob, all smiles, and, hey, Magic Man got love still. Hey, white lady, hey, I'm back, baby. Meanwhile, it shows Norm Nixon may have got distracted, got his pockets picked by one of the Celtics, and it looked like the momentum swing was in place. They done kicked the fast break off, pass it to Larry Legend. Larry Bird chucking up a jumper, nailing it. Then he turns and looks at Magic like, yeah, sit down, boy. It's about to be a whole nother dang right here, boy. You ain't ready for this ass whooping I'm about to lay on y'all, boy. And then he hears that from Larry, and then he looks at the damn camera and like, yeah, I really don't like that dude. I don't like that dude. Now it's time for real talk and the MOORESCORE. So stay tuned. Now, this show is amazing. I love the show. I love the way that it's shot, the quality. The guy that plays Magic Johnson, I think, does a great job, as well as Kareem. I like everything. I really don't have too many bones to pick about it. Now, being a sports fan and a huge basketball fan and following these teams and these players, I know that it is not accurate completely. And in the beginning of the episode, they even have the disclaimer saying that some of it is accurate and some of it is exaggerated. And what is exaggerated is the beef between Magic Johnson and Kareem. They have to have, I guess, some type of antagonist in the TV show, but from different videos, interviews, and things that I've seen from Magic and Kareem, this never happened. They didn't have this beef. It's actually a great documentary called on HBO, Kareem, Minority of One. And on that documentary, he even was saying that when Magic won that MVP, Finals MVP in 1980, Magic came to Kareem and tried to give him the trophy and say, hey, I don't want any beef between us. And Kareem told him, no, keep the trophy, and that we all good, and that they never had any beef, and that for the most part, him and Magic got along. And even in things that I've seen with Magic, Magic has said that he looked up to Kareem, respected Kareem, and that they never really had any beef. So that's, I think, all made up for the TV show purposes, and I'm pretty sure maybe some of the things is exaggerated with some of the Jerry West frustrations. Jerry West has dealt with depression and has explained about how he has dealt with some frustrations, but I do not think he was so over the top miserable as they make him in this show. Now it's time for the MOORESCORE. Category 1, visuals and cinematography is just amazing. The way that they shoot this is like you're watching it in the 80s in real time, like a fly on the wall. They talk to the camera. The way that the camera sometimes look like it's a handheld and somebody's there. I mean, I love the way that this is shot, the way that they talk to the viewers, and the way that this looks as far as the 80s feel. So on a score of max of 25, I will give this show 23 out of 25. Next, storyline and plot. I love the storyline of this show, and this episode was no exception. As far as showing how the relationship between the players, Kareem, Magic, Dr. Buss trying to finance things, and his relationship with the family, I'm going to give this a 22. We have special effects, makeup, costumes, amazing. All of the costumes, makeup looks as if it was in the 80s, late 70s, and they do an amazing job on this show with that. And this episode is no exception, and I will give this episode a 22 for special effects, makeup, and costumes. And last but not least, we have entertaining fun factor, which this show is very entertaining and very fun to look at, even if you're not a sports fan, because they don't actually show basketball games. So this is actually a great show for everyone because it's not basketball games, it's everything else. And with that being said, I will give this a 23 out of a possible 25, which will give it a total MOORESCORE of a 90 or a 9 out of 10. I always give a +5 margin of discretion. So if you think that this was a 9.5 or a 95 out of a possible 100, I can see the case being made for that. And if you think that it was an 8.5 or an 85 out of a possible 100, I can also see the case made for that. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I can't wait to see what you think. And let me know if you enjoy my recaps like this, like I used to. I'll see you on the next one. Peace, and I'm out.